Alright, for the question 1, the way to do question 1 is draw out the real number diagram. So if you can remember from the recorded video previously, real number will be split into rational and irrational numbers, right? Okay, so for irrational numbers, so what are irrational numbers? Okay, so they are indefinite and no pattern. Okay, example, pi square root 2. Okay, as you can see, pi is equal to 3.1415 blah 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 blah. So there's no pattern, right? And non-stop. For square root 2, same thing, 0.70, so on and so forth. Okay, so these two are considered irrational numbers. And then what are rational numbers? For rational number, you can split it into decimal, but under decimal this is definite, unlike the indefinite. So for definite decimal number, they are like 1.12, so it will stop at somewhere. And another example of decimal is 1.2 with a dot above. This means 1.22222 non-stop, and there is a pattern to it. Okay, so I call it definite or with pattern. Okay, then of course you will have what? You will have fraction like 1/3, 2/3, and then last but not least you will have integer. And under integer you split into positive integer, 0, and negative integer. Okay, so with this like diagram, now you need to fit each of this number into this diagram. So -5 is pretty clear, it's a negative integer. Square root 2, very clear, irrational. Pi, irrational. 2/5 is a fraction, so under here. Square root 36, and square root 36, if you punch your calculator you will get 6. Okay, so still you will get a positive 6, which is a integer. Okay, for square root 36. And square root 36 is not irrational. Why? Because square root 36 is equal to 6, and clearly 6 is a positive integer. Therefore I put it under the positive integer here. Okay, and then for 0.16, so this means 0.161616, and there is a pattern to it, and it's a decimal number, so I put it under decimal 16 with 2 dots. Okay, so I have categorized them in this diagram. Now I can answer the question. So they ask for part A, integers. So integer means everything here, everything under the integer. Okay, so you have square root 36 and -5. And irrational numbers, so for irrational numbers you have here, right? So basically you just look under that branch. Okay, so for irrational numbers is pi and square root 2, and that's how you actually get the answers for this kind of question. Okay, you get all these numbers into this diagram. Once you have that, then only you start to solve the question. Alright, so that's how you actually solve question 1. For question 2, you have to start with the number line. So 0 is here. To the right of 0, of course, you have the positive numbers, and then of course to the left hand side you get the negative numbers. Okay, and what you can see is, okay, how you think of negative numbers is When you have -1, that means you lose $1. Okay, if you want to have an analogy. So if you have -2, you probably can think of lose $2. So if you have -3, that means you lose $3. Okay, so if you lose $3, okay, compared to you lose $1, so you will lose more for if you lose $3. So basically lose $3 compared to lose $1, so you will lose more for lose $3, right? Basically you will lose $2 more. Okay, so in a way, right, you don't lose more means it's less. Okay, because let's imagine you start with 0, so you lose $2 more. Okay, you lose $2 more. So when you lose $2 more, okay, so lose $3 compared to versus lose $1, you lose $2 more if you lose $3. So therefore your lose $3 is actually less than, so you lose $3 is less than lose $1. Okay, so therefore your -3 is less than -1. Okay, so by this logic, right, now you need to put these numbers for question 2. Now you start to put these numbers. Okay, for question 2 you have 2/7, -3.5, -3 and 0, and you need to start to put these numbers into this number line. So clearly your 0 should be here. I already have it. Okay, then you have the -3, so which is here. Okay, you have the -3.5, which I don't have it yet, so but you can have it. So just get your -4, and -3.5 should be in between. So this is your -3.5. So highlight it, and then you have the 2/7. So for 2/7, you need to convert it. If you have a calculator, you can convert it easily. If you don't have it, it's about 0.22. So you just do this long division. 2, then 14, 6, and then you put 8. So it's about 0.228. Okay, so it's about 0.28 plus. Okay, so 0.28 plus is less than 0.5. It's in between 0 and 0.5, right? So your 0.28 is somewhere here. But you don't write down 0.28 plus because the number itself is 2/7, so you write 2/7 here. Okay, so that's it. So once you get all the numbers right, what are the numbers? -3.5, -3, 0, and 2/7. It's pretty clear which one is the least and then which one is the biggest, right? Okay, so the least is actually -3.5, and then smaller than the -3, smaller than the 0, smaller than the 2/7. If they want small to big, okay, if they want big to small, then you go this way. Okay, so over here they say descending order. Yes, so they want descending order. You know what's the meaning of descending order? Descending order means going down. Okay, descending. Descending means go down. Go down means big to small. So the right answer should be 2/7 first, then 0, then -3, then -3.5. Clear? So you make use of the number line. Okay, get the numbers onto the number line, then decide for yourself. Okay, that's how you solve question 2. So I guess 1 and 2 is the hardest. Okay, here. Then for the rest of the question, I will say it's pretty easy already. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye. Alright. So you need to go back to the definition. What's the definition of HCF? 2 points. So you always go back to the fundamentals. Okay, the definition or formula. So the definition for HCF is, okay, must be shared. Okay, and shared what? Shared factors. And lowest power for the shared So what is the definition for LCM? All factors and highest power for the factors. Okay, so I'm going to use this. So if you look at this and this, right, what are shared factors? Can you see they both have 2 and 2? Okay, good. So 2 is shared. So what else do they have? They have 11 and 11. Okay, good. So 11. And then do they share the 19 and the 17? No, they don't share. So it's done. Requirement 1 clear for HCF. Then next you look for the lowest power for the shared factor. So what's the lowest power for 2 here? Between 4 and 2, the lowest power is 2, because 2 is lower than 4. Then for the 11, between 6 and 3, 3 is lower. Okay, that's it. That's the HCF. But they want it in index notation. Index notation means this. Okay? Index notation means this. Okay? They don't want the answer. Okay? They don't want the answer, which means they don't want you to calculate. They don't want you to calculate this. They don't want you to calculate this. They don't want. They want it in index notation. This is index notation. Okay? Then for LCM, all factors. So what you see here? What factors are available? You have 2 and 2, so you don't write more than 1, so you just write 2. Basically, the factor 2 is there. And then, can you see the factor 11 is also there? Okay, even though you see 11 on both numbers, but you just write it once. So you also have the 17, and then you also have the 19, right? And that's all. And then you need to choose the highest power for each of these factors. So the highest power for 2 is 4, for 11 is 6, for 17 is 4, and then for 19 is 5. That's it. So index notation answer is this. And by the way, they don't want you to get the answer by using your calculator. So you just leave it like this. Alright, so this is called index notation. Okay, so read the question carefully. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so I feel that these 3 questions are the most important questions that you need to clear, and then you got it wrong during your test. Okay, so thank you and bye bye.